welcome to today's video where I am gonna be talking about Bungie's future game, Marathon. Have you heard about Marathon? What is Marathon? What is this game? So, most recently, it was announced at the PlayStation Showcase with a short trailer. However, before that, Bungie had already spoken about their newest IP. And today we're gonna dive into every detail known about the game so you can get a bigger picture of what to expect from it. All the information comes from the developers, but I will try to maintain minimal rumors or what I hope for the game. Well, I'm gonna mention what I hope for the game, but minimal. So most of what I'm gonna say today, it's already confirmed. I'm making my fingers go like on quotes confirmed because we have to consider that the title right now it's still on pre-alpha state, so there's gonna be major changes coming into the game later on. However, Bungie seems to want to stay close to the formula they already know that works for Destiny. So let's see, as a background, Marathon was first released in 1994 with two sequels to the title coming in 1995 and 1996. Whew, that is a long time ago. But they are gonna bring it into the modern times. So, as far as we know, it's gonna stay a live service. And, of course, they're gonna keep it in space. Bungie seems to love that. And we love that. I love that. I like that Destiny takes place on space. So, it's gonna be kind of the same thing. They're gonna stay within the same formula of the three-man squad game. However, this is where the game starts taking shape of its own. Differently from Destiny, this game is gonna be extraction-based shooter. And it will focus to something similar, Escape from Tarkov. If you haven't heard about this game, let me just give you a little bit of a quick rundown. It's most extraction-based shooters. You choose a mission, buy and choose your loadout, drop into the map, hunt for loot, complete the missions, and at the end get safely extracted from the area. Because if you die where you are, you're gonna lose a lot of stuff. Either everything or a couple of things that are allowed to lose. So this is what Marathon is gonna be about. Of course, in the video you're gonna see a little bit of not a gameplay, but the cinematic they presented at the PlayStation Showcase. We had like almost a month ago. We're not gonna get gameplay yet because supposedly this game is not gonna come out until 2025, so we're still ways away from that. But here's what information we know about Marathon. The core gameplay loop of the game is gonna be the same as I mentioned before, like an extraction game. You choose the mission, you buy or prepare your loadout. But not just the loadout. You're gonna have perks, abilities, and special gear because this takes place in space, unlike Escape from Tarkov that it takes place in Earth. You're gonna have different options that I think this is where the game can truly shine, depending on how far Bungie can take it. Then you're gonna be dropped into the server because this game is not just PvP; it also has PvE. So it's a mix of both. You are gonna hunt for loot, complete your missions, and of course explore the maps that are available, because there are gonna be secrets within those areas, right? So while you do all of this, you have to be careful from other players and of course from the NPCs. As I said, it's gonna be PvP, PvE. And then at the end, once you finish with everything or you just simply need to get out, you have to be extracted from the area. That's the only way you can gain XP, you can gain new loot, and are able to upgrade your own stuff. Otherwise, you lose everything. And that's basically it. You have to repeat that cycle over and over again. The premise of the game is it's gonna take place on a planet that was previously home to a human colony that vanished, with humans now sparse using highly customizing cyborgs called runners to gather loot. This is what the premise is gonna be. So it's actually not humans going into the maps, it's actually cyborgs, which makes more sense, right? To keep, like, I'm guessing they are going this route kind of like they are with Destiny, because that way you keep it in lore. See, and that's another important thing about this whole game, or how much is it gonna be about lore? Is it just a simple game like Escape from Tartarus? I mean, I'm not gonna say simple because I really don't know anything about that game. I don't play that game. I know how the game works, but I don't know if it has lore behind it. I feel like it's just your normal run-of-the-mill multiplayer that you go in, you get out, there's no story behind it. But knowing Bungie, they're gonna try and make a story out of it. So that's gonna be exciting. So I mentioned at the beginning about perks, abilities, and special things that are gonna separate the game from others. And this is where, so the game is gonna try to be different. So from the premise, we know it's gonna take place in space. So because it's gonna take place on space, but it's still a little bit weird because we are talking about cyborgs. I didn't know they needed to breathe oxygen, but apparently oxygen is gonna be part of our resource. So according to them, to the developer so far, our players have a limited oxygen supply that essentially acts like the match countdown timer. Once the player loses oxygen, you begin to lose health. Extracting before you run out of oxygen and health is the goal, but players can also find O2 canisters in the match, or subsequently buy them at an expensive price on the market before heading into the battle. So here you have it. There's gonna be this new resource. It could potentially change because, as I've said, the whole thing with cybers, humans are not the ones going in, or maybe it's cybers humanized. I don't know the lingo for this, but maybe it's humans that have become half cyber, half humans. They still need oxygen. Maybe it could work. I don't know. But how will this? Because an extraction-based game ties to an injury system. And according to the information, it's probably gonna have to do with the resources you're gonna have available. Because if you get shot on an extraction-based shooter, certain parts, depending on where you're shot, certain parts of the body of your character are gonna suffer. You're gonna need band-aids, you're gonna need crutches, or a cast, or I don't know. You're gonna need things to heal up. And it's not gonna heal up immediately. It's gonna take a little bit of time. To add, I don't know, quote-unquote realism. But how is it gonna tie it? Well, a few examples of cause of injuries have been confirmed, like being shot in the waist area may cause damage to your oxygen supply, which will cause it to deplete more rapidly. Another example was if you get concussed, this will cause the player screen to blur periodically. So yeah, they're adding a little bit of things into the game. But of course, like most shooters, the game will also include the perks or ability boosters. This time, they're trying to bring a balance of how these perks and abilities can contribute to the playstyle and, of course, the management of your whole run in the map. How are you going to be acting out on the field? A few examples they have confirmed that's going to be on the perks or the abilities. You're going to have faster revives. You're going to lose less oxygen usage. You're going to move faster in water. And there will be other abilities that are going to be more game-changing and powerful. For example, night vision. That the more the player progresses, the more perks and abilities they can unlock. So this is it's still pretty rough, right? Like I said, it's going to release until 2025. We're probably not going to hear anything else about it until maybe the 2024 or coming up 2025. But they did say that there's gonna be 3 different types of loot other than the guns. There's gonna be implants, the perks, and abilities. The game will come out with 3 different maps at launch. As I said, it's very little information, but we have a little bit of a tease of what to expect. I am hoping they make it its own thing, like they truly add more detail into it. They probably will. They're gonna add lore. They're gonna implement other stuff that have to do with space. I don't know, maybe because we haven't even talked about it, and I just thought about it. We only talked about or mentioned about perks, abilities, and all that stuff. Where we haven't even talked about like the gear, the stuff you're gonna have on your character, the clothing, and of course the guns, right? How different are they gonna be from any other shooter, or how close are they gonna be to what Destiny, to what Bungie does in Destiny? I mean, I love the way how shooting feels with Bungie games, so I know they're gonna nail that. It's just a terms of how can they, what can they add into the mix for this game to make it interesting? The only worrisome thing I will say, and just to finish up with the video, the only worrisome thing I have is Bungie has mentioned they are aiming to create this game to become the ultimate live service. And as we know, live services imply a lot of things. Some of them are seasonal rewards, progression, that's gonna take a huge part of the game, and of course, microtransactions. Yay! The favorite part of everybody's day when gaming. I don't know how to take this from Bungie, considering the situation that is going on with Destiny. They have been raising prices for things that they don't add anything more. Like, the content has been lacking a little bit. Of course, there are other problems other than that, but it's strange to hear that coming from Bungie, you know, and making it like the forefront. This is going to be the ultimate live service. What does that mean? Does that mean everything's going to cost a lot more? Probably. In my case, of course, this could be very different to you, but in my case, live services games are, I don't know, I'm feeling like I don't want to try them anymore. Like, they really, really need to have something special that just cuts my eyes or that hooks me in. Of course, the gameplay loop is going to be very important for this, right? And what worries me is, like, it's a live service, but at this point, I'm kind of like burned out of those types of games. Like, right now, I'm just staying with a style of games I already know, I already played. I did give Destiny 2 a chance last year. I played it quite a bit, but at this point, I'm just like, I don't want to play it anymore. I'm tired. Of course, there are so many live services games out there, and you really have very limited time, you know? There are so many good video games coming out this year, next year, that for me, the question for Bungie will be, how are you going to make this ultimate live service game that will hook me in so badly that I will not want to waste any of my time in other game other than yours? You know, that's the only thing that is like, okay, it's interesting on one side because you're making it like this very ambitious game, but on the other side, there's also like an optimistic way, you know, of seeing how, like, microtransactions, how much is it gonna cost? Are you actually gonna have a lot of seasonal rewards? Are they gonna be entertaining? How good are they gonna be? Of course. But yeah, that's where I'm gonna leave it at. Of course, from the simple trailer we saw, the art style, the looks they're gonna go for, it's very cool, very modern. So I'm hoping to see, hopefully they implement more like customization with your own character, because that's gonna make it maybe more personal level for the player, right? To get more invested in it, and instead of just being like, oh, top part, bottom part, in the head, the helmet. Well, make it more, you know, maybe they'll make it more detail in that area. But yeah, that's it for this video. What do you guys think? What do you think about the game? What do you hope from this game? Can Bungie be trusted not to go money hungry? What do you guys think? I really, really want to talk with other people about this game because it's very early. It's very early on its development. It's still pre-alpha state, but we can dream, we can talk, we can imagine before things become more settled and you start getting like the basics of this is what the game is gonna be. So let me know in the comments. I would love to hear your thoughts and keep the conversation going. If you liked the video, remember to leave a like and share it. It really helps out the channel. Don't forget to subscribe. I love to post videos about gaming news and review or recommend games. So if you're into that type of thing, subscribe to the channel. I'm the Honey Buyer. See you until the next video. Keep on gaming.